What is going on, you guys? Today I have another super quick episode for you. So we're going to be reviewing a YouTube channel called Legion of Men, and the episode title is 31 and Single, Why I'm Done with Dating. Let's hop into it.
Welcome back, tribe. I have an episode here someone sent to me. Seems interesting. Actually got a lot of views from a small channel. 31 and Single, Why I'm No Longer Dating. Lucas Mikros. If you want to follow him, I'll leave it up here for a second.
No longer dating. So I am choosing not to date. I am choosing not to date. And for someone like myself who's been chasing women, chasing females for over 2 decades, okay, that's more than 20 years. I can assure you that being alone and being single without looking for sex or without saying that you just want something casual or you just want to have fun is a place that most humans need to be in their lifetime, men and women. Now, I'm not going to go into the depths of men's perspective, women's perspective, and all those things because I believe that could and should be another topic. But this is just a genuine post here on why I am just not dating, right? And how I've gotten to that.
Curious.
I'm actually kind of curious why he used the word chasing, right? I mean, maybe he didn't actually mean it, right? Because like a lot of guys will go back and forth about this, but basically, you never want to be chasing somebody or chasing a woman, even chasing a job, right? Like pursuing is something that's different. Pursuing is like basically displaying your intention and being able to walk away easily, right? Like just letting them know and then figuring out if there's also interest on the other side, right? Like pursuing is basically like attracting rather than, and again, the guy has to take the lead, right? You can't just sit in the bleachers and do nothing. But there's a huge difference between pursuing, being intentional, right, making some slight moves versus actually chasing. Because chasing is the desperate, creepy one, right? Or like scarcity mindset, basically. And then the other version of this, right, the pursuing is when you are more in like an abundant mindset and it doesn't really matter, like you're detached from the outcome.
I'm just wondering if people are going through this as well. I can assure you that I'm very mindful of my journey. That is why I know what's right for me at this moment. After spending, since being, I guess, 8 years old, 7-year-old, in elementary school, even in just earlier years when I was 6, 5, I remember what it was like to have my first crush. I remember being like 7 or 8, having little school fairs and wanting, my mom to buy something for this cute girl that I had a crush on. And I realized that was the start of it all. And along that, from being 8 years old, a very young boy, you spend so much time pursuing people outside of you guys, and it's sad, and genuinely it's actually heartbreaking when you realize that in this lifetime you just spend so much of it pursuing and chasing people, and in this case I'm a man pursuing and chasing females. And
I would just add on to that, like seeking validation outside yourself, like doing that way too much. I think to some extent, like a very small extent, right? Like look, we're biologically we're social creatures and we thrive on community, right? So like we're going to want a little bit of approval or quote unquote like validation from our tribe, right? Our communities, the people that we look up to, the people we want around, or healthy relationships, etc. Because of course you could have people around you who are not a good fit to keep around as well. But getting to the point where you need a lot less of that and you can actually affirm yourself, right? Like validate yourself.
All out of it, it's made me a better man, yes, up until this moment, but I've been broken, man. I've been damaged. I've gotten my heart broken many times. I played females too. I take accountability for the journey that I've been up to, but it's like waking up to that, right? Waking up to all that devotion that you've been giving your whole life. And it's not about things not working out.
It sucks that you learn this a bit late at 31. Some guys learn a little earlier. I was having conversations like this, like how empty it is, how soul sucking drains the life out of you. It's the same robotic thing over and over again, going on a date, saying the same lines. It works on the girls, no matter how high her status or low her status in society, how rich or poor her family is, whether she was a doctor, a dentist, a lawyer, or the chick that's making my ice cream on the stand. It didn't matter. That really messes with your head. On top of coming off of a bad breakup that messed me up at the time, I was all head over heels in love, first real relationship, thought I was going to get married and have kids with this woman one day, and got red pilled to the mat, and then literally started using my looks, started using my charm, manipulate women back. I wanted what I wanted, and I was going to do everything to get it. And that was lie, that was pretend I gave a fuck about them, tell them sweet whispers, the sweet nothings, the whole pump and dump, the Chad thing. I was watching them do the nastiest things while they were with me, like picking up the phone and telling their boyfriend or their husbands that they're with their girlfriends and they'll call them back, it's not a problem, or waking up the next morning at my place putting a ring on their finger, or the chick that just got married and she's having the bachelorette party and she's coming around for some fun. Dude, I have seen it all and it didn't matter. There was one time I went to Vegas and this chick had a multi-million-dollar, I think it was a boyfriend or husband, can't even remember. She had a man that was multi-million-dollar lawyer in LA. She was there with her other girlfriend partying alone. Guess who was walking down the strip with both of them on his arm? I've seen everything. I did this all before having money. It was me in college broke, just maxing out stats like I'm a video game character. Once you've experienced this stuff, you understand that there's nothing that comes from it that's any good. I don't think after the 20th girl, I learned anything, honestly, that you didn't learn from the first 20. Every other number after that was just trying to fill a black hole that can't be filled because you were heartbroken, young and dumb, surrounded by people that told you, whispered in your ear that the way you get over women, the way you get over your traumas, all your problems is by sleeping with other women, is by tossing women.
Yeah, but it's all just a big like ego boost, right? Ego validation, right? Like you're like proving it to yourself, but eventually you realize like, you know, like there's no real point to doing that over and over. Like I talked about this in another video, why the playboy lifestyle doesn't end well. I mean, it's basically that reason, right? It's like you realize that you're kind of going through the motions, you're having empty relationships, casual over and over and over, short term, and you're feeding that life rather than feeding something more meaningful, right? So you have to look at it this way, right? You have to bake yourself as the entire cake. Your life is amazing as is, and then from that, being able to find a fulfilling relationship, like a woman who is an anchor for you and not a sail, right? Like she's can skyrocket your success in your life and add this level of fulfillment to it, right? Because you know, she can really add that to it, but remember, like, have the great life. So you have an awesome cake already baked, and then she's like the amazing, like the whipped cream and the icing or the cherry, right? Like, it's like, that's the point that you want to get to, rather than like, oh, I need someone else to complete me, my soulmate, like that kind of stuff.
Just using them for their bodies, essentially. That's what the playboy lifestyle essentially is, dude. It's a man that's broken inside, that cannot commit to one woman, can't start a family, is afraid to be heartbroken, is hanging on the heartbreak from the one woman that caused that for him, and is forever pumping and dumping. And he runs through multiple women that are good. I've ran through multiple good women, and I was just not in the headspace, not in the whatever. Emotionally unavailable is what guys tell women all the time. We're just not emotionally unavailable right now. I just want to take it easy. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. The dude's still bleeding his heart out for the one woman that broke his heart. All these dudes that are players and teaching you game and all this bullshit.
By the way, that's why you need to get to the point where, like, because he talked about like the red pill earlier, like you need to learn the stuff, like female nature, etc., dating dynamics, and then get over it, right? Like use those tools to your advantage. Like it's like you got a tool belt, but you can't stay bitter, right? It's don't stay bitter, get better. Because that's the only way you're going to reach the level of fulfillment that you want, rather than chasing that empty void.
Well, I never taught guys game and how to get laid and how to pull women, how to talk to women, because that's the dumbest, superficial, stupid shit you could possibly learn. You would fare far better in getting a quality woman if you worked on your body, if you worked on your mind, if you worked on your finances. That's why I always preach the self-improvement thing first. I've already been there where I maxed out the absolute degenerate tactics of pulling women and manipulating them. It leads to nothing but what this guy's probably about to describe.
Look back in hindsight to say, oh, I regret this, or...
And it's worth saying, by the way, a lot of guys think that's all they need to do is work on their finances and their body, and then women are just going to start approaching them or something. That's not really how it works. And those women that start approaching you are probably going to be potentially more of the, like, they might want you more for the finances. So not always, right? But I'm just telling you, right? Like, if you want to take the masculine lead, you want to be the guy who is, you have those things handled. This is what I would say, right? Don't just do that. Include dating and figuring out dating dynamics, like that landscape, while you're working on finances and fitness, right? So you're working on everything at once, rather than sort of doing the coping mechanism thing, like, oh, I'm working on myself, and sweeping that under the rug because you're not good at it, right? And this is what I would say, right? You want to be able to get to the point where you have the skill set to develop a fulfilling relationship, like a long-term relationship, and actually have like a pair of glasses or like x-ray goggles so you can find who is not relationship or mother material and who is, right? That would be the recommendation here, right? Because if you put off dating, you become the guy who's rich and jacked and he doesn't know what he's doing with women. So you're basically more of like a mark or a target in that situation. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, that's how a lot of like NBA players and actors, musicians get themselves in bad situations with women because of that.
Talking down on women, it's nothing about that, man. It's just a genuine contentment at this point to realize that on my journey, I just was chasing women my whole life. Even though I had good things going on in between, it's always been this need for a female in my life. And especially men, man. Men, we deep down all want that. We want to be in a relationship. We want to have a woman in our life. And a lot of us wind up going down that route of being casual, of having multiple women and, getting our heart broken and being out there fucking around, being promiscuous. And as society says, especially a lot of content with like red pill stuff and things in the status quo, right, is having a lot of females shows that you have more status, or that because you're on your mission or because you're on your purpose, that you should have females in your life, and that, you should be able to date and court a woman and take her out and have fun while you're still on your mission, while you're still on your journey. I don't believe that to be true any longer, because this is a decision, man. This is a true, genuine decision and devotion to myself at this moment. I don't need a female anymore. I mean, genuinely, for real, I'm being honest. And I realize there's so many other men speaking about this. I'm really actually at a place in my life that's taken me 2 decades, bro, 20 years to get to a place to be like, yo, all along, I just had to redirect things back into myself, to realize a lot of the reasons why I've been with unhealthy women is because of the things happening within me. I've been manipulated, I've been deceived, I've been cheated on. And it wasn't until my last relationship that I realized, like, yo, I need some time to heal at this moment in my life, first off, from that, right? But even just a cluster of things that are happening within me, like, I really put my life aside for a woman. I don't want to say my mission and my purpose, because I believe that we have multiple missions and purposes, but overall, in the grand scheme, I literally put the things that I was pursuing and again, possibly potentially stepping into more deeper purposes and missions, I put these things aside for women. And I wonder why I've been spinning my wheels. And
by the way, a lot of guys will do that too. Like, they'll compromise something that they really wanted for a girl. Like for example, like a lot of the guys will like, and I'm not really the biggest proponent of college. Like I recommend you go if you actually want to be a doctor or a lawyer, right? But like, if you don't know what you want to do, right, or you're just gonna get some student loan debt, like, I probably recommend a different route, honestly. But like, for just as the example, right, like a lot of guys will like follow a girl to college, right? Like, go to the same college as her, or like, compromise on something that they really wanted to do with their life. Like, imagine just kind of resenting yourself or her later in life because you decided to follow her rather than what you really wanted to do with your life, right? So, I mean, that's just something to keep in mind.
I'm into this place now where I'm not spinning my wheels no more. So there's not one single person that could tell me otherwise, to be like, oh, bro, well, you're a good looking dude, or this, you should be able to have women. You should be able to know how to treat women, or you should be able to know how to entertain women and how to lead women while you're going through this. Nah, man, not everybody needs to do that. Genuinely speaking, I'm at a good place right now. Why would I continuously keep going in cycles to be with women? At this point in my life, sex is not important. If all I'm getting from sex is a woman, it's not good for me no more, right? It's empty. So a beautiful woman doesn't do nothing for me. It's what's happening inside of her that's most important. To know.
Yeah, he needs to heal first. Once he's done healing, he'll get to the next step where realizing, like, family, having a woman, a real woman by your side, femininity with a nurturing attitude that wants to see you do better, that's being your muse in a way that inspires you to do more, is like the next step you take. And then having kids with her, that's the final step. And then being the head of a household, and that's the ultimate journey. That's where it all starts. That's where real manhood begins for a man. And we're all on this journey. Unfortunately, some of us take a little longer to get there and start to realize these things, but it's good that he's healing. He's in the process of healing. He does need to take some time. I took 6 months off when I was doing the constant pump and dump, the casual hookups, having rotations of women. I mean, it got so bad, dude. I'll be honest. I don't know if I've even said this before, but I was 1 week where I called the perfect week, where I slept with a different woman for 7 days. Was every single day a brand new woman. I wasn't talking to them and like warming them up to meeting up on a date. And there wasn't some chick I hooked up with before and hooked up with today. All brand new 7 women, all met within a few days of the day we slept. Yeah, that was me. That was my perfect week in my head when I was in college. And then you start to see this shit. One of my friends, he's like my brother. And we used to have these conversations that were, I mean, we would term them red pill now, but we were already privy to this shit, just naturally going through it. And the conversations we would have about the emptiness we were chasing and how we were trying to use women to fill the void, and it wasn't working because ultimately what was wrong was something deep within. So I decided, a little bit later on, I had a whole 6 months off from women. I took 6 months off and I said, listen, dude, coming from somebody that's basically, you can maybe classify as a sex addiction, I don't know, power addiction, whatever you want to call it, just it gave me a sense of worth, self-esteem, that I know I could conquer so many women. Women make you feel like a man. That's really what it is. Because the more women you can get, the more like a man you feel. Nothing better to be able to convince a beautiful woman that's hard to get why she should get with you. It's exhilarating. It really is for a man. And so I took a bunch of months off, 6 months or more probably in total. I can't remember what it was, but literal cold turkey, talked to no women, really did some work on myself, figured out why I was doing what I was doing. And I've always had this like reoccurring quote in my head: if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you always got. And I kept like the first time I ran across that quote, I don't know why, dude, it's one of those that just get directly basically injected into the center of your brain and it just stays there. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. You know, the definition of insanity is expecting a different outcome when you're constantly doing the same thing. And I saw myself running like a hamster in this circle. It's nonstop, dude, like faster, 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 slower, slower. I'm still the hamster on a circle. It never ends. I had to get off the wheel like a hamster and start over again and discover myself and what I really wanted to do and what gave me a sense of self-worth and self-esteem and who I wanted to be and what my definition of what manhood was supposed to be, because it was directly tied to how many women I could get. Unfortunately, today, a lot of the red pill creators are in this space. You can tell if you've got an experience with women, you can tell these guys don't get bitches at all. Most of these guys are just regurgitating shit they read online. They haven't fucked any women whatsoever. They don't know shit about the realities of dating. It's very easy to take someone's content and just repackage it and pretend you have some authority on the subject or you have some experience. And the other part of these guys are just the straight up broken dudes that are, one girl completely ruined them and they're still in the ruined state. These guys have not done the work to come out the other side. They're under the red pill rage and just spouting crazy shit off. Oh well, I mean, everybody's at a different point in life along the same journey, but damn, there are men that are even less experienced on these subjects taking advice from straight up bug sandwich dudes. Careful who you listen to, including myself. Always question all information, especially in the age of misinformation. For real though.
Oh, if she is going to...
Yeah, well, that's a good point too, right? Like always consider where the advice is coming from. Does that person have the results that you want in a particular area that you're getting the advice on, right? So that means you can have more than one mentor, of course, right? Someone's got the long-term relationship or marriage you want, talk to them maybe. Like they got kids, it's a happy relationship. That's key. The body that you want for fitness, right? Maybe the kind of career, or they're really fulfilled in their career. Like maybe talk to them. Do they have the life you want? Right? Consider all those things. He said something important earlier that I wanted to address, which is basically like, he mentioned going through that time where it was like a void, right? Of like the perfect week or things like that. And running into situations where he wouldn't know that a girl had a boyfriend until for example, like the guy called her after they were hooking up or something, right? Or like her leaving and putting her ring on, or the boyfriend calling her while she's with him. Like that will put ice in your veins, right? Be like, whoa, like you didn't even tell me that you had a boyfriend right before this. Like that's not cool, right? So like be mindful. This is why it's important. I would say like, yes, you should have potential periods of taking like 6 months off of dating, that kind of thing, right? But like don't just like put dating off while you do the finances and fitness thing. Add dating in like 1 day a week or whatever, right? And so you learn how to navigate dating and who to look out for, who's like red flags, who's not, right? Because that's a huge one he just talked about, was like, you don't want girls who are doing like their bachelorette party in Vegas, the girls trip, the girls night out, whatever kind of fluff that they tell you, right? Like avoid that like the plague. And you're not controlling. You can just say, hey, like you're free to do that if you want. It's just not something I'm really interested in terms of long-term dating. But again, right, like if that's something that you're into, like you're free to do that. Perfect, right? That means they can do what they want. And you've stated your boundary, right? So it's easy for you to walk away in that circumstance. So again, right, like having the ability to actually identify red flags in toxic situations will get you to the point where you can find what he talked about earlier, that added level of fulfillment, like girlfriend, mother material, right? So you actually know how to find that ultimate fulfilling relationship and maybe build a family one day.
Being in alignment to my life and my journey, if she genuinely and truly believes in God and practices that, if she really takes care of herself, she has a good relationship with her family and friends, what she does in her spare time, how she spends her time. It's so easy to talk about what you're looking for in people. What are the things you're looking for?
Yeah, that's a good point there. Like, you definitely want one that's not like got TikTok brain, like watching the Kardashians, TikTok, Instagram, blah, 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 doom scrolling, has a short attention span. Like you want one that's, they say you are what you eat, and that actually applies to like what you consume mentally too, right? Like is she reading books? Are the books she reading like on psychology or self-development, right? Is she listening to podcasts? Are they like gossipy trash talk podcasts? Are they actually like educational, right? Like you can tell a lot about a girl with that kind of stuff.
He has a whole array of things, like 20, 30 things of what you're looking for in a person. But for me, I realized that I was looking for things in all the wrong places. And I was really with low quality women that had a lot of baggage that were just monkey branching continuously, cycling guys. And that's the problem that I see. And that's why I'm choosing not to date at this moment. Real talk, my last relationship, the last person I was with did the same thing.
He was doing good up until that point. Healing's going to take a lot longer, my friend.
Literally just disposed me and was already fucking around with somebody else. And I'm not talking shit about nobody. And, you know,
okay, so he's putting the blame on other women being low quality. I'm messing with low quality women. True realization comes from the fact that you understand that I was messing with people below my level because I'm at their level currently. I'm messing with low quality women because I myself am a low quality man. Now, when you choose to accept that, that's when the real healing begins. So right now he's just taking a break, it seems like, because he got heartbroken very recently by a woman. Now he deems low quality because she was cheating on him, not knowing that you yourself, my friend, are deserving of that woman because you're at her same station in life. You're low quality as well. And I'm not saying that to like ego bruise. I'm saying that because that's when the journey is going to truly begin for you. When you realize I'm the fucked up one. I got a lot of work on myself. Holy shit, I'm low value. My mentality is what makes me low value. You could be a good looking dude, tatted up, whatever, have the bad boy aura for women that they love. Like mentally you're broken. Mentally you're low value. That you're messing with these birds and you shouldn't be. But you know, hey.
That's somebody's life now.
No, I love that point, right? Because he's right. I mean, there's a saying, I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's something to the effect of like, there's like different levels. Like, you don't want to be blaming others. You don't necessarily want to be blaming yourself. You want to get to the point where you're not blaming anybody, but you are still taking accountability for what you can control in your life. And so that leads into what Bo, the Legion of Men guy, was talking about, basically, is that he needs to take accountability for the fact that he's on their level, because you're essentially, you are what you attract, right? So that person is a mirror reflection of how either it's probably how he feels about himself, like because some people, they'll be like, well, I didn't want to attract that, what are you talking about? Because it could be that he's also exhibiting similar behaviors, you know, like the guy version of that girl, or he doesn't believe, like, because it could be the toxic behaviors on his part, or he doesn't believe that he's worth more, right? Like that he can get like a better relationship, and so that reflected in the kinds of girls he was attracting, right? So that's really important to recognize, so you can take accountability and figure out, okay, like, what's going wrong here? What can I control? What can I work on so that in the future my mirror reflection is a healthy woman, healthy relationship.
Somebody else, girls, at this moment, that's somebody else's turn, as they say. And I don't mean that in like a sexual way. I'm just saying that's another guy's turn at her. And I realized, for me, man, I'm good, bro. I'm actually really good on the journey right now. I've never felt this much peace in my life. And I already shed a lot of tears for it because I've just never felt this fucking peace before, man. I never realized what I was really battling with, man. And spending time alone and not pursuing any woman and not dating has been such a hard thing to even do. It's been such a hard thing to even come to terms with and face and make that decision. And guys, I don't want to waste time no more, man. I don't, you know. I got a relationship more than a year ago, and in between that, I went on a couple of dates already. That's why I'm talking about it. I was already meeting women, and I met a couple of women that were actually pretty cool. But real talk, I started to see the same type of things happening too quickly, and I didn't want that. I don't want to be a part of that. You know, and that's a very important thing for a man to be in a position where he's not leading with sex, to realize that after the first or second date, if you see telltale signs of things that you have already been through, stop.
You're picking low quality women again. My friend, you're running in the same circle without knowing it. You almost stepped out of the bounds and became a free bird. Believe it or not, I'm doing private consults now, and I had a guy, similar story to this, but we'll say more rage. far more in the rage phase still. And completely, when you're in the rage phase, you're completely blind. Sorry. It's just straight up, it's all women's fault. I blame women. I gave her everything. I mean, the guy was saying all the common tropes that you would believe, like, yeah, like the 6 stages of grief or whatever it is. Is it 5 or 6? Someone tell me in the comments.
I'm fucking around to find out.
Can't
Know your
remember.
worth, bro. Like, if something's not working, tell Shorty right away. Tell her right away, man, it's not working out. I'm not feeling this. And move on with your life. You don't got to save people, man. And even for women, you could do the same thing with men. Women should be single for a time, guys. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Statistics shows, and there's evidence and proof showing that women sleep around more than men. Yet every woman acts like they don't. There's a lot of good women out here, though. Let me just disclaim this. This video is not about me. As y'all see already, I've been talking for like 10 minutes. I'm not putting women down.
I hope you guys paid attention to what I said and how you need to frame this thinking in your mind to begin the healing process versus what he's saying now, and you could tell that it's not healing.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
But a lot of men, look, he got...
No, he's right. I mean, because you can tell, like, there's still a level of, like, hurt or still a level of bitterness there, right? Like, I'm not putting down, like, but he's still kind of, like, blaming the situation. Like, he's working on it. Like, he's getting out of it. But you know, even he was saying, like, he tried to get back out there dating, and he started attracting the same kind of woman for a while. So, like, you got to get past the point where you're kind of like, you know, because guys and girls will do this too, right? Like, oh, it's almost like a big kid, right? It's like, oh, I'm the best I've ever felt. Like I've never felt so free. It's so good. It's um, almost like a little kid looking for attention kind of thing, right? I. And I'm not saying this to again like ego bruise Legion of Men was saying, but it's just like I'm so good right now, like you don't even know, but you can see like the hurt on their face. So I'm saying this because like I really hope that this guy is able to heal and get through this because I again like I want to see guys succeed and start having really healthy, fulfilling relationships. So it's a really good point that he's making, right? Because you can tell he's not quite there yet. He's on the journey, which is good.
50-some thousand views and he's got less than 1,000 subs. So this is striking a chord with a lot of men.
Disrespecting women. I have the absolute most respect for women. And I get along with man and females. I have female friends. I don't want nobody to think I'm making this video to be like, oh, he's a hermit. He can't talk to women or he can't. No, I can. I have great relationships with females. I'm just not dating. I'm not dating. If I'm not looking to seriously be long-term or be married with somebody, I'm not dating. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm not dating because I have that intent. So at this moment, I'm shaping myself to be the best man I could be. And I don't need a woman in my life. And that's why I'm choosing to not date. It is so liberating and freeing, man. A lot of men can't speak like this because every man needs some type of validation with the women, or a lot of men are still masturbating. A lot of men are still looking for sex. I've talked to a couple of guys over the last couple of months and I understand the struggles. That's why I'm speaking about it, is that a lot of men have this understanding and knowing that they're tired of living that life, but they're finding it hard to get out of it. But yeah, here I am, man, in Puerto Rico, drinking a coffee in the morning. It's like 7:15 in the morning. And I realized that I'm just choosing not to date. I'm happy with that. You feel me? It's not even just a feeling no more. It's an actual contentment. And to me, that's a great place for a man to be in when he spent his whole life. When men spend their whole life chasing women, it ain't even like pursuing them, more like chasing. It's the ego thing, man. It's validation that a lot of men are seeking, and a lot of good men are being played from it as well. So there will come a time and place where I will choose to date again, but at this moment, it's just not it. I haven't dated nobody or been with anybody for almost 4 months now, and it was hard. It's hard not to like feel like a month has gone by and you feel pretty good about yourself, or that you feel like you're in alignment, and you say, hey man, like I'm gonna get on a dating app real quick, or girl at the gym, let me go walk up to her and see what's up. But once you get past that and you're practicing celibacy, which is another thing, and you're devoted to that, guys, these are strong words: devotion, commitment, dedication. Don't let nobody tell you any differently, man. You don't have to work hard at certain periods of your life to be better with women, or to pursue women, or to have women in your life by the multiples, man. Being a grounded man, 10 toes by yourself first, and I mean deeply rooted to where you are convicted in it, you can stand on your own, that's where you need to be. You don't need to be fucking around with multiple women, man. You don't need to be doing that. You don't need to be watching these videos of these gurus talking about that, man. Be with you and God first. Okay, I see so many videos of guys, like certain guys, I'm about to be 32, and I see guys that are in their early 20s just pounding information. You need to be on your mission. You need to be on your purpose. Listen, I get it. That's what's up. But a lot of these guys are going to face different truths, and I'm speaking mine at this moment. A lot of these youngsters are going to come around to find out the truth in things. There's layers to truth, but it's only what you believe to be true in your life. So if you're out here chasing the mission and on the purpose and on the grind, but you're out here getting multiple women and having sex all the time as a man and thinking that that's making you look like you have status, that's an illusion, and it's okay. I understand it. I see the world, guys. I see the world physically. I see what they're putting out there. Men need more stronger men to guide them. We don't, at this moment, need young boys teaching other boys how to be men. We need real men that have been through it. So as I study men now, and I study people that have gone through relationships, a lot of men in their 50s and 60s, I'm taking note. I'm taking note of their journey and their wise words. And the same thing here for women, guys. Women need actual, strong, devoted women to guide them, because a lot of women lacked that their whole childhood.
Or some comments I see. I disagree with men and women needing to see casual sex. Not good for you anyway. It's quite dangerous. I could agree with that. Yeah. I work in tech, engineering, and single, making 190K, saved up 700. When you're making somewhat real cash, your level of giving Fs is going through the roof. No woman can shame you. They can call me any name they want, incel, whatever. Once I hit a mil plus, I'm going total NPC mode. 0 Fs given. I'm checking out from society. Already partially checked out. Avoiding women was the best decision I ever made. Just became better. My mental health, my career took off. 37-year-old guy here, single for close to 4 years now. The problem nowadays is social media absolutely ruining what most women believe is normal and realistic. It's not normal to be a millionaire. It's not normal to drive supercars, own a mansion, or flood a girl with lavish and expensive gifts. It's not realistic to vacation to tropical islands every other month. It's hard to find someone who understands that working and owning a home is hard to do nowadays. It's not always feasible to have a lot of extra. Sometimes bills need to be paid, emergencies happen, etc. 39 here. A divorce and 2 fucked up long relationships later. I've had it too. Doesn't matter what the reason is. In this day and age, no one is ready to make things work. That's it. They want to run away and chase yet another illusion, then stay and work. So I decided that I'll let them. I'm not stopping anyone from being with me, and I'm not going to stop my journey for anyone anymore. Good luck to all those who left me. I'm going to find peace myself. Oof, he's hurting. 80% of women are dating 20% of men. And this guy says, brother, the problem is the choice in women. Some women demand so much from men and give nothing in return. Once you find a woman who adds more than she demands, it's a game changer. I agree with that one. Much respect for you, bro. At 26, I'm feeling the same. I bought my first car so I could take a girl out. I built a company to be successful so I could attract women. And for the first time, I'm living my life for me, not doing anything for a woman. It's freeing not to be controlled by our nature to pursue women and protect and provide for them. For the first time, I'm actually free. Oh, look, that's some women too. I feel the same way as a woman. I'm over it. Been alone for many, many years, just walking with the Lord. Jesus Christ, that I'm good. I'm 53. This month, I've been celibate for 4 years. I've been married twice and divorced twice. I'm staying celibate until I get married. Third time's the charm. You didn't learn, did you? Here's some brutal ones. I'm 26 and deleted all social media besides YouTube.
Well, that's a good point, right? Like third time's a charm for a marriage. Like, I don't know, man. Like, at that point, why not just have a long-term relationship, right? Like find the again, right? And I want to hammer this in too, right? Like, that would be a reason to improve and iterate on your process for dating and finding someone who's a good fit for you. Not give up, not be bitter, right? But that, he kind of sounded like he would try again, right? So for him, I would just say maybe skip the marriage and do a relationship and figure out how to find someone who's a good fit, no red flags, relationship material. And that's why the one thing the original YouTuber said earlier on, like, I had to say, like, I agree, like, don't be the guy who's like chasing out there, like, multiple women, rotation, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not really necessary, like, or like filling the void, like Legion of Men was talking about. But understanding dating dynamics and female nature, so actually dating a little bit and intentionally while you focus on the other things, so you can find that girl for you, right? Because she's going to make, if you find the right one, she's literally going to skyrocket your success. Like, there's a lot of successful people who wouldn't have done nearly as well as they have because they had a great woman behind them. And the same can be said for finding the wrong fit, right? They can be a detriment or something that's really, really beneficial for your life. So just keep that in mind.
Obviously, in dating apps, after being led on and used to get over an ex, I decided to purely focus on me and now God. Now, just because I was led on, but being told, you never loved me, you barely knew me, we never dated, so I don't know why it matters. Being put down for how I felt and the situation being downplayed, it showed me how cruel it really is. Also, dating apps are just an energy sucker and self-esteem destroyer. The amount of deception and toxic behavior that is praised, I don't want any part of it anymore. Stay sober, focus on yourselves, stay away from the drama/dating. Praise the Lord. So I'm guessing this guy talks about, his newfound faith and whatnot. Another one right below that one says, I feel this. I recently got blindsided by a girl. I did everything and she left with a guy I thought was a homie. Oof. Definitely opened my eyes and it's been hard, but I know it's for growth and I dodged a bullet. I'm 30. In a way, it's me paying back for my karma, but for sure, she has yet to meet hers. It's an interesting.
By the way, that last one was kind of interesting. I've heard that from a couple guys before. So number one, that means that he didn't vet for a good girl, right? Because he went with his friend, right? Number one. So he was unable to spot toxic situations or red flags, number one. Number two is he had a friend that was willing to do that. So that means he wasn't a friend, definitely not a best friend, wasn't even friend material. And that actually ties into what the original YouTuber was saying, was he's attracting bad friends and bad relationships. So what can you do to look inward, because you are what you attract? So maybe he's not a bad guy. Maybe, again, that's just what I'm saying, right? Maybe he's not doing the toxic behaviors. He could be, but maybe what he's doing is not knowing what to look out for and believing that he doesn't deserve better, right? It's like a low self-worth thing. So working on that so you can attract the right person for you. See? Awesome, guys. Well, definitely an interesting episode here. I hope you all were able to take some value out of it. If you watched this far, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. You got this, bro.